those of you who are watching at home, I know my wife is certainly watching at home. Hello, love, I'll see you soon. I must say, it's an ultra privilege to be back on the richest continent on earth. I'll say it again. I'm so happy to be back on the richest continent on earth. You know that, right? This continent has jewels, has gold, has oil, has crops, more than any other continent on earth. We are the richest continent on earth. But you know what? Despite our wealth, we have problems, right? Despite our wealth, we have diseases that are diseases of poverty. Diseases such as famine, malnutrition, infectious diseases. Why on earth should that be? Now, on top of that, given that we are now importing the Western lifestyles, the Western food, the Western drink, the Western way of living, we're now getting all the diseases of affluence too. And diabetes is probably the worst of them. In this diagram, you can see that diabetes affects just about every cell in your body. Every cell. It causes blindness. In fact, 50% of the people who go blind is because of diabetes. Amputations, because you have to take your limbs away because they're not working anymore. It causes high blood pressure, dementia. Every area of your body is affected by diabetes. Now, I am going to show you, I don't have much time, so I can't tell you everything, but I'm going to show you how you can prevent and reverse diabetes. Is that okay? Well, first of all, you need to know what's going on. You see, the reason why we get diabetes is because every cell needs glucose to survive, sugar. But sugar doesn't pass into the cell. It needs insulin to bind to the cell, open the door for glucose to go in. Now, when you're a diabetic, especially a type 2 diabetic, the cells are not responding to insulin anymore. They've had a lifetime of Coca-Cola, Mars bars, chocolate, McDonald's. They're no longer responding to insulin. And so the sugar builds up outside the cell, goes up into the blood, which is very, very toxic. Now, if you want to prevent diabetes, or if you want to reverse diabetes, and by the way, let me just say to you all who can hear me, anybody who has type 2 diabetes does not have to live with type 2 diabetes. Every single person can be cured. I have been doing this for over 25 years. We've never failed yet. Let me just show you one or two things that you can do as of today. A healthy, plant-based diet. If you want to prevent yourself from getting diabetes, or if you have diabetes, the best thing to do is to have a healthy plant-based diet. In fact, the first 2 weeks of curing diabetes, I recommend beans, greens, and vegetables. Beans, greens, and vegetables. It will bring down your sugar. It will bring down your need for insulin. Now, I've put something up here to show you also what you must do if you're a diabetic. What you must do is avoid white rice. In fact, I say avoid most of the white stuff. This is not a racist comment. White rice, white bread, white pasta. You need to avoid all of that. If you want to eat rice, you can only have whole grain rice. I think that rice here, the one that's unadulterated, is even cheaper here than the white rice. So it's cheaper for you too. So a healthy plant-based diet, that will bring down the level of sugar. What else? Now, if you want to know how to prepare this, I will advertise this again. Plant-based shows you how to put these plant-based healthy meals together. You do not want to miss that. The second thing I'm going to recommend you do, what you've eaten, as soon as you put your fork down, go for a walk. Immediately. What does that do? You see, these big muscles you need to walk, they absorb all the sugar. They lower the sugar in the blood. It means you need less insulin, and therefore your cells can become sensitive to insulin again. So I always say to people, look, if you're going to eat, make sure you put your walking shoes on whilst you're eating. As soon as you put your fork down, you get up and you go for that walk. I would say at least for half an hour. People say to me, well, I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, how many times are you going to be eating anyway? First of all, you only eating twice. And then, if you don't have time, think about it. Yes, you need time with your family. Yes, you need time with God. And yes, you need time to do your exercise. But you can do all these things together, can you not? You can walk whilst you're with your family, whilst you're using God. That's 3 in 1. Imagine doing an hour of that. That's 3 hours in 1 hour every single day. Okay, now, as I said, I cannot tell you everything because my time is so limited. But if you want to know, please follow me on the YouTube and X. The next time I see you, I'm going to show you how to beat cancer. But in the meantime, I hope we can all arise in health, healing, and hope.